Mira, Serafina.
I feel the necessity to continue this visiting process, to visit the houses that are right here in Tokiachi. I want to drop off more of the gifts that Linda has purchased for the ladies, and at least be able to say hello and tell them that Linda sent her love and her hugs. And then we hope to go down into this gorge that is just this beautiful place that the water has carved out. And it's carved right in solid limestone. It's about 100 feet tall, and at one point, if you had the nerve, you could actually jump across that gorge. And so we are working our way down into there, and Jesus is accompanying us on this whole trip. You stand and watch, and you're just in awe at the amount of vegetation, the amount of butterflies that are flying around you up from the trail. And you're just awed by the fact that this is just one tiny little portion of the creation of God that flowed from the mind of God from eternity past. And it's all just a part of what makes up Guarejillo land.
Una sombra.
Sí, la sombra buena.
Está haciendo calor.
Sí, bastante calor. Oh. Pasa.
Sí, gracias. Aquí estoy. Para acá. Eso.
This afternoon, my idea is to lay out God's answer to our sin problem. My desire is to show them the birth of the promised one, to give a little bit of background for his life, his ministry, and then his ultimate goal, that of going to the cross to pay the price for sin on that cross, spilling out his blood on my behalf and on the behalf of those who are willing to accept him. During the teaching time, I was trying to read the verses, but I didn't want to spend so much time on information that they weren't getting the personal, emotional feelings from my own heart toward them, the love that God wanted to show toward them. And so as we worked our way fairly quickly through the actual outline that I had set up in my mind for today, I wanted to get how they were feeling. I asked them first if they believed what I was saying, and Carlos used a verb that is to understand. It's the verb enterado. And I am enterado to what you are saying to me, and that means very solidly that I understand. It's a radio terminology often used when one answers, you know, to say I understand what you just said. This is what I have to say. And so I asked him if he believed, and that's what he actually said. I'm enterado. And Carmelita gave assent too, said, yes, I understand what you're saying. And then at that point, I asked them to pray with me. My intent was to actually get them to pray right behind me. I mean, actually repeat the words that I was saying. But that didn't seem like what the Lord had. I started to pray, and they just started saying, and yes, along with me. And then it wasn't long after that that this young man walked in, and it was right at a very inopportune time.
Parte de la familia tuya.
I should not have been surprised by the amount of distraction that was going on about us, with pigs in and out, the little kids running circles around us and being loud, dumping out toys, dogs barking and roosters crowing, and other people walking in and handing Carmelita her little baby granddaughter. There was just a lot of distraction, and I should not have been surprised, but I was somewhat surprised. And what I felt like was going on there, that we were actually being opposed. And I feel like there was a spiritual warfare going on. I think we were to that point where Satan loses hold of one of his own children, and it becomes an issue with him. And it's not like one of those things where, okay, this is okay, these guys aren't really understanding, I don't need to interfere here at all. But I feel like we were facing actual interference, if you will, and that it was a matter of a spiritual warfare that was actually being seen on camera and being seen by us as we tried to teach.
Es como una deuda que tenemos con Dios. Eso es. Ven, ora.
I pulled my chair up quite a bit closer to Carlos, and I said, I really desire to pray for you right now in your actual physical health. And we will continue to pray for you. And so I prayed at length with Carlos about his physical health and about God's will for him. If it was God's will to heal his body, I asked for that. When we got up from that, I said, I need to say goodbye. We're going to be headed out very early in the morning, and so I won't stop by the house in the morning. And Carlos said, hey, I'll come down to the bottom of the hill with you. And he walked down the hill with me, actually sharing with me that he does believe what I said to him, and that he did understand what I was trying to say. Thanked me for coming, and walked the rest of the way down the hill with me to say goodbye to me down there, away from all the commotion, away from all the people and the interruptions. And I personally appreciated that very much. What you have just witnessed is the miracle that God has wrought in each one of our hearts, those of us that are children of His. Why should God care about an elderly, alcoholic man in a roadless town, a Guarajillo person? I don't actually know, other than the fact that God is love and He does care. He cared about me, He cares about you, and He cared about Carlos and his wife Carmelita. I'd like to actually challenge you at this point to what kind of a part would God have you have in world missions, evangelization of people such as Carlos and Carmelita? Where do you fit? Is your part a part of just continuing that process of praying, giving, being a part of the home portion of this, being partnered up with those who are out in foreign areas? Or would God have you actually consider making a step forward, a step out into a world that maybe seems a little bit unknown to you, especially as maybe you view a video such as you've just seen? I'd like to challenge you to what part God would have you play in this, what role He would want to give you.